What's happening, everyone? Cotty Red 99 here, back with a Crafty Couple, having a look ahead at the weekend's fixtures. Of course, the first thing we do have to talk about is the sad loss of Diego Armando Maradona, or God, as he is known as in his home country. A great loss to the football community around the world. 3 days of national mourning in Argentina. I think that just shows how much he meant to those people. And it's a sad loss for the footballing world, and he will be remembered very well this weekend as black armbands and a moment's applause around all the grounds of the Premier League, as there should be for such an icon in football. But moving on to this weekend's fixtures, I'm joined by the lovely Clonmel Champagne connoisseur. He's got his degree. He's graduated today. Keane, mate, how you getting on?
I'm very good now. Thanks for asking, Owen. I said I'd be in a sober state coming onto this show. You were worried that I was going to be a bit too drunk coming on, but today I'm reasonably okay.
I mean, I'm surprised you're not passed out somewhere in a ditch. That was what I was expecting. But look, I'm proud. I'm proud that you've managed to keep yourself sober. Also joined for the first time on the podcast by Jamie as well. Jamie, how you getting on?
I'm doing good, mate. Thank you very much for giving me a platform to come on your channel. And congratulations to Keane as well on your graduation, mate. Well done for doing that. But got the old super block as well, boys, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed in myself, to be honest, that I don't have a beer. I'm drinking mixers tonight, sadly. No beer in the house. But what can we do? We've got to work with what we have. Now, let's get into it tonight. Kicking off in an hour. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Thankfully, only one game on a Friday, not an early game on a Friday, because it's a pain in the arse when there is one. Palace only one win in the last 3 games. That was against Leeds. Newcastle, Callum Wilson coming back into the side. They're sitting 15th at the moment, only 1 win in 5. But with Wilson coming back, can that make a difference to them? Keane, what are you thinking?
I mean, this is a game where it could literally go any way, can't it? You have 2 teams who don't really go out and attack you, do you know what I mean? They're not 2 teams that are going to go out and play expansive football, but you do look at the teams and they both have their strengths. Both teams are actually very, they're decent on the counter-attack, so for me, I think Callum Wilson coming back into the Newcastle team is going to be a massive boost for him, because he's a talismanic figure for Newcastle. So he's done quite well since he's come in. So I think he's a big boost. So the goal scoring isn't on St. Maximin's shoulders now, So I think that's a boost for him. In terms of Palace, obviously, they're a team that Roy Hodgson have them set up very well. Though they're very defensively astute, and they do have a very strong counter attack as well, like Ayew and Wilfred Zaha as well. So yeah, look, it's going to be, I wouldn't say an interesting game. It's one of them games where it's either going to be a 0-0 or it's going to be a load of goals scored. There's nothing in between, But for me, I'm going to go with 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. I can sort of see your train of thought there, Jamie. What are you thinking, mate?
Well, obviously, Keane will know as well. Obviously, I'm not too sure if you'll know this, but I actually live in Newcastle, so pay quite a lot of attention to the team just from living in the city. I've lived up here for a long time, so yeah, I was just having a bit of crack with the lads in the office. Actually, they're obviously all Toon fans just today, just to see what they were sort of saying, and none of them are really confident. Obviously, Newcastle not doing very well at the moment. They're not playing very good football. There's quite a lot of negativity towards Bruce at the moment up here. So, they're not sort of going into games and expecting wins at the moment. Obviously, if you've watched it, you realise they're not playing the best of football at the moment. And the lads were asking my opinion earlier, funnily enough, in the office, and I went for the same as Keane. I think it will be a score draw, purely for the fact of Maximum's out for Newcastle. He's apparently got a knock. There's a rumour going around. He had a little bit of a fallout with Bruce. I don't know whether it's true or not, but that's the rumour going around the city at the moment. So there's a little bit of unrest in the camp, apparently. But if you're not getting results on the pitch, it's going to filter into the dressing room. Of course it is. So I just think there's certain players at the club struggling. Obviously, he's not playing. He's been one of their sort of star players. But obviously, with Wilson back in the team, they can obviously get a goal. But it's about creating chances. And same for Palace. I think I'm right in saying Zaha's not fit. I did hear that. I don't know. I haven't seen it confirmed. But
well, check the lineups now.
Oh yeah, the lineups will be out actually. Yeah.
I don't know if he tested positive for coronavirus. one of the guys in the office was saying
Wilfred Zaha's quarantine and St. Maxim's actually out injured as well.
He's got a knot.
Both teams' best players are out. So
that's it. Like if any of them players were in the team, particularly Zaha, I would fancy Palace. But I'm going to go for a score draw. I think it would be 1-1, to be honest. If I was going to put myself out there and say what I think the score would be, I'd probably go for a score draw, 1-0. Yeah, Newcastle need a win though, big style. So
yeah, Newcastle are desperate. We're only 1 win in 5, but I think Wilson coming back. You're saying about creating chances. I do think that I don't know. I just think Newcastle will have it in them. I think Bruce pulls off just results like this quite often. So I'm just gonna go for a 2-1 Newcastle win. Moving on then to the 12:30 on Saturday, it's Brighton versus Liverpool. Liverpool obviously going to be looking to bounce back from their defeat midweek against Atalanta. Shock defeat, really. And Brighton actually, for all their, they did get the result against Villa last week, but I think that's their first win. It's only their second win of the season, actually. Sorry. And they are struggling. They are down there. Potter hasn't playing some good football, but it doesn't matter as long as if you don't get results, and you need to stay up in this division. Jamie, what are you thinking about this game? Are you thinking the Scousers will walk them over, or?
I'm expecting Liverpool to bounce back. Yeah, I totally agree with you. They're going to come out all guns blazing against Brighton. I think they'll have a little bit too much quality for them. After midweek, quite a lot was made about the Atlanta result, but Atlanta are a good team, just because Liverpool turned them over last time. I wasn't surprised that they got a win. They're a good team, Atlanta. They can beat anybody on the day. They play some great football. So I was a bit surprised by the result. Don't get me wrong, but especially at Anfield. But I think unfortunately, sort of maybe take a beating this weekend. But I think Graham Potter's a really underrated manager. He gets them really well organised. They've got some pretty talented players in that team. Trossard and Alzate look really good little players in that team. So, and they can score goals. They proved that against the informed Villa team last weekend. So, but I do fancy Liverpool. I think Liverpool get the job done.
Yeah, I'd say so. Keane, what are you thinking? Is our old boy Danny Welbeck, is he going to do a job on the Scousers this weekend, or is it just going to be too much?
Yeah, I think Brighton are going to do a job on Liverpool this week. I know last week I said Leicester were going to do the job on Liverpool, and I got that completely wrong. But
I think you should just stop predicting the losses, because you just seem to fuck it up, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Stop giving them credit.
Do you know what though?
Sorry, I didn't mix my drink enough there. I just got no, sorry. Carry on.
Struggle in there, lad.
So yeah, look, for me, I think Brighton are a very, very strong outfit at home, and they did show a lot of their qualities against a very informed Aston Villa side last weekend. Unluckily for me, because they were the only team that let me down last week, Villa. But for me, I think Liverpool on the back for loss, they're struggling with injuries. It's starting to catch up for them. I think the Atlanta result again, I think that could be a start of a downfall. And for me, it's more hope than expectation. I kind of want to see a Brighton win. I think Danny Welbeck, puts Liverpool to bed the weekend and scores the winner.
I mean, I love your hope, Keane, but I can't see it. I can see it being a narrow victory, just sort of Liverpool eking it out, maybe Brighton taking the lead, but I'm going to say 3-1 Liverpool here. I'm going to say it might be a bit nervy for a while for them, but I think they're going to walk away with it. Next game up here is the 3:00, and it's City Burnley at the Etihad. City losing to Spurs last week, obviously winning midweek against Olympiacos 1-0, getting through to the knockout rounds. But they'll be looking to bounce back in the league after that loss and terrible performance against Tottenham. And Burnley picking up their first win of the season as well. So could they do something that would shock the rest of the whole league and pull something out of the Etihad, or are they just going to get walked over 6 or 7-0? What do you think, Keane?
I think Burnley are getting whooped tomorrow. I think City are via sleeping giant tomorrow. I think losing to Jose Mourinho and Tottenham, which me and you actually both said on the show last week that was going to happen. We both said that Tottenham were going to win.
I said 2-0 as well. So yeah, I mean, call me Mystic Mac,
But I think City, they'll be a sleeping giant. I think they'll want to prove a point that they're still in the title race, even though they're behind United at the moment even, but do I think they'll want to prove that they're still a strong team in the league. And I think you look at Burnley, like Sky Bet have them at 18-1 tomorrow. No one really fancies Burnley to get a win tomorrow. So I think City win 4-0 tomorrow, and I think Kevin De Bruyne needs to pull a performance out of his arse, because quite frankly, people are saying he's the best attacking midfielder in the world at the moment. I think there's a certain other attacking midfielder from in the Manchester area that argue about that at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I don't think De Bruyne is the best midfielder at Manchester, let alone the league. Jamie, what are you thinking? Are you thinking it's a cakewalk for City as well, and De Bruyne is going to try and prove a point?
Yeah, I think De Bruyne's definitely got something to prove, particularly with the boy that plays in the same position in the red shirt in the City. So, but yeah, I'm on Keane's wavelength there, mate. Yeah, I think it's going to be a stroll in the park for City. I think that there's a little bit of pressure on Pep, not with regards to his job on the line or anything. He's obviously just signed a new deal, but I don't think things are really going to plan for them this season, are they? They've lost some silly games, have dropped some points. They obviously got beat last weekend. So I'm expecting a bit of a demolition job tomorrow, 4 or 5-0 job. But you never know. Sean Dyche, he's another manager. I really rate him. I think he's doing a fantastic job with the tools that he's given at Burnley, and he'll get them really well organised, and he'll set them up to try and go there and nick a point. But I have a feeling that quality will tell tomorrow at the Etihad, and it'll probably be a 4 or 5-0.
4 or 5-0. Yeah, I'm thinking along the same lines. I'd love to see Burnley get something, but I think in all fairness, you just got to be realistic about these things. But you know, teams like Burnley, when they come to the Etihad, they just get walked over. And City, I wouldn't be surprised if I looked and seen a cricket score when I looked on Sky Sports. Next game up we got is the 5:30 is Everton versus Leeds. It's quite an exciting game. Everton had a slight dip in form, obviously 3 consecutive losses. Did get a victory against Fulham, but did look shaky towards the end. Only eking out that victory 3-2. Leeds have been sort of up and down this season, obviously with that loss to Palace, dropping points against Arsenal, really, because I felt that they could have come away with it. They hit the woodwork a number of times, and just lacking a bit of consistency from both sides, really. And what do you think about this one, Jamie?
Yeah, two good attacking teams, 2 very good managers. I'm expecting a really good game. There's exciting players in both teams, so I think it will be quite a tight affair. I think they'll probably sort of stand off each other and have a little look at each other before maybe sort of trying to progress with the game a bit. I think it would be quite cagey, maybe first 20-25 minutes. But Bielsa's team don't take a backward step, do they? So I'm expecting a really attack-minded game tomorrow. Everton have got some really creative players in their front line as well. And Calvert-Lewin's obviously scoring goals for fun. I know he's been a little bit dry over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, they obviously bounced back with their win last weekend, and I'm expecting them to do the same. I think Everton will just maybe have a little bit too much for Leeds, but I think everybody's appreciating the way Leeds are sort of attacking the Premier League this season. So you don't really get a boring game when Bielsa's team are in action at the moment. So I'm expecting quite a good game there. I might keep an eye out, see if I can give that one a watch, because I think it'll be a really good game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting one, to be honest. I think when Loftus-Cheek came on in that Fulham Everton game, really, he showed that they could be got at quite easily if you charge through them. Keane, what are you thinking?
For me, I think Everton are going to beat Leeds quite handily tomorrow. I think in terms of style of play, with the way Leeds are so open, the way they play so expansive, I can see the likes of James Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin just absolutely tearing Leeds a new one tomorrow. I think Leeds would be too open. I think if this was Arsenal playing Leeds or some other team like that, I'd have more hope for Leeds. But in this situation, I think Everton, with the way they play, I think is going to be a problem because of the creative outlets they have. I think Everton's midfield is vastly superior. They have the likes of Allen, they have the likes of Rodriguez in there, the likes of Andre Gomez. So you have to look at that and say that's where the game's going to be won and lost tomorrow. And then you obviously look at the firepower, you have Richarlison, you have Calvert-Lewin, 2 players who are playing absolutely fantastic football this year. And for me, I think Calvert-Lewin is one of the best strikers in the league this year. Do you know what I mean? He's really shown what quality he has and how promising he is as a talent in the English Premier League. So, yeah, I think Everton win tomorrow. I think Everton win 3-1.
Yeah, I can see you trying to thought there. I think I'm going to go for a score draw myself. I think it'll be an exciting game. I'm going to go for a 2-2. I just think it'll be back and forth the whole game. Love Everton's midfield. I've loved their signings. I keep saying it. Abdoulaye Doucouré, absolute huge fan of him. Think he's a great player and a snip in the market at 25 mil. Moving on to the next game, it is a huge game at the bottom end of the table. West Brom versus Sheffield United. It's one of those relegation 6-pointers, absolutely pivotal. You know, neither side actually with a win yet this season.
This game should be on pay-per-view.
It actually would have been had it not been removed previously. The 8 o'clock game on Saturday, and look, we laugh. It might not be the greatest game of football, but it's a massive game for these two clubs. You know, 3 points here is pivotal, especially with Sheffield only getting one point so far this season in that draw against Fulham. And the second season syndrome, like we've said before. And Keane, what are you thinking? Is this game going to be just a scrappy affair and a late goal to win it, maybe?
I'm going to go with a very entertaining game. Because it's a late kickoff on a Saturday night, you're going to have your few beers in. It's a great day of sport. You have the Mike Tyson fight on tomorrow. You have the Joe Joyce and Daniel Brom fight.
That's not a fight. That's not a fight, Tyson's fight. But
the new rules came into. No, they're allowed to have knockouts now today. So there was announced today.
It'll be over in the first round then, if that's the case.
I read the rules that came out with that. That was a joke. That was just.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But. Like, this game is going to build up to a great night of fights. It's going to be entertaining. There's going to be fight from both teams, West Brom and Sheffield United. The two teams who are fighting for their lives. But the Irish lads in the Sheffield United team are going to go in and they're going to win the game. So Dave McGoldrick's going to have an absolute masterclass up front, and it's going to be 3-2 to Sheffield United.
3-2 Sheffield United. I mean, fucking hell, that'd be a great game to watch. It'd be a great advert for the Premier League. I'd love to see it. I like Sheffield United. Obviously, a big fan of John Egan, the Kerry lad, but I don't know. I just don't think it's clicking for them this season. I think West Brom might have too much for them. What are you thinking, Jamie?
Yeah, they seem like they're having a little bit of second season syndrome at the moment, don't they? I thought West Brom were quite well organised against us. I think they were on another day. They could have nicked the draw. Obviously, United didn't really turn up on the day, but we'll stick to this game. But I thought West Brom were quite well organised against us, created some chances, and I don't know. I think it's got. I think it'll be a better game than it looks on paper, to be fair, because they both need to win. I think Bilic will go with the mindset of he needs to sort of start gathering some points, and I think it's the same for Sheffield United. So. Yeah, I'm expecting Premier League experience to come into play a little bit. I think Sheffield United will get the job done, but I think it'll be quite an entertaining game. Weirdly, if you look at both teams, you'd expect a bore draw where they both shut each other out. But the fact that they both need 3 points, I'm fancying quite a lively game there actually. But I think Sheffield United in the end, improving Premier League experience will come through, because I know they ain't sort of been ticking recently over the since the season started, really. They've been struggling a bit, but they've got some really quality players in that team, particularly Sander Berge. I really rate him. So I think they'll get the job done, but I think it might be a tricky little affair. As I say, good game. I think it'll be a pretty good little watch, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's a good watch, to be fair. Saturday night, something to stick on the telly. I think Sheffield United will do it. I'm more wanting them to do it than thinking they'll do it, really. But I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Sheffield victory. Then moving on to Sunday, it's a massive one for us away at Southampton. Southampton have been doing very well under Hasenhüttl this season. I think they're currently fourth or fifth in the table. Fifth in the table. They're unbeaten in 7. And Ings is missing, who has been their main man this season, but they still look pretty good without him. And Che Adams looking quite well, and we haven't looked too great ourselves in the league. A different story in the Champions League, obviously, with that result against Başakşehir in the week, but that nervy win against West Brom doesn't fill me with confidence travelling to St Mary's. But can we do it? What do you reckon, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm on the same sort of mindset as you. Like, I think it'll be a tough game going down there. I think it's probably one of the toughest away games in the league at the moment. Hudson Hartle's got them really well organised. They've got some exciting players. They've got youth as well. Got a little bit of experience in the centre of the park with the likes of Armstrong, who sort of makes them tick a little bit. But I'm hoping United can sort of build on what the result that they got midweek. I think the fact that we got the 4 goals is a massive boost for the lads, because we have goals freely, which Man United usually score quite a lot of goals through the season, and that's sort of been a bit of an issue this season. But I'm hoping that we're going to have the quality in the end. I'm expecting a tough game, but I'm hoping that if we can sort of drag them into our sort of game and maybe sort of nick a couple of goals on the counter-attack. It all matters what Man United turns up, don't it? And what tactics and what personnel Ollie's going to play, and particularly what system. So that will be pretty interesting. But I'm hoping we can, obviously being a Man United fan, I'm hoping we can go there and get the job done. But I'm not expecting an easy game. I think it's a really tricky fixture, like every season for United. Southampton away, we always seem to sort of have quite a hard game down there, and if we do get a result, it's always a smash and grab. So, but we've got a little bit of momentum Premier League wise. I know we've not sort of been lighting up the skies with the performances, but we've obviously got 2 good wins against West Brom and Everton before that, which Everton was a tricky away game as well. People were expecting, and we breezed through that with. I know performance wasn't ideal, but the result in the end was exactly what we were after. And I'm just hoping that the lads can sort of dig in. They've had a little bit of rest midweek. They can dig in and get a result. But yeah, very tricky game. I'm expecting a scoring game. I'd go 2-1 United, I think.
2-1 United. I mean, you are right in terms of our previous results there. I remember the year we won the league with Van Persie. What a beautiful year that was in life. Came from behind, and Van Persie getting a hat-trick. I've actually been Southampton away. It was when they were actually in League One. It was a long time. I think it was 2010 or 2011 maybe. I think we had
2011,
yeah, 2011. Chicharito and Michael Owen up front, and both of them scored. It was a very random day. I mean, I was only 11, but I felt pissed. I was that confused with what's going on the pitch.
I think Hudson Hartle was getting a lot of praise as well for what he's doing down there, ain't he? They seem very consistent.
You're butchering it more than fucking Saeed does. Hudson Hartle. Fucking hell, that geezer's name is getting butchered left, right, and centre on the.
Saeed says Hasselhooter.
Hasselhooter. I mean, basically, we've made up great German versions of Hooters. That's all we've made up. Keane, what do you reckon? Are we gonna do the same thing, or are they gonna continue their flying form this season?
I think we'll win this Sunday. I think we'll get the result. I think away from home, Man United have been better than they have been at Old Trafford this season. Yeah. So, like we went to Goodison Park, we've got a result. We went to PSG, and we've got a result. Do you know what I mean? So, like, we went to St. James's Park as well. We went there and got the result. Do you know what I mean? All tough places in their own right to go and get 3 points. I think it's going to be the same situation. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. You know, Southampton are a very good team. They're very well organised, and they actually play decent football as well. And James Ward-Prowse has a gift of a right foot. Like, do you know what I mean? His set pieces in his corners and free kicks are unbelievable. But for us, I think our midfield, if Ollie, as Jamie said, if Ollie picks the right midfield and the right system, we shouldn't have a problem beating Southampton with all due respect to him. I think if you play in midfield with Fred, Van der Beek and Bruno Fernandes, you should be beating Southampton quite handily. And, you know, that's probably our best midfield 3 at the moment. Obviously, Paul Pogba's out. So, again, I think we should win. I fancy Edison Cavani to get on the score sheet again in the Premier League this week. Like he did at Everton away. And you know, what can we say about Bruno Fernandes? Like, he's been absolutely exceptional this season. And for me, like, there's no midfielder in world football that comes close to him at the moment. Like, in terms of his overall impact and the numbers he's pulling up, I challenge anybody to say who says to me that he's not the best midfielder in the world at the moment on current form. Like, who would be better? Do you know?
I mean, I'm in complete agreement with you, mate. But I mean, there are some City fans out there that would argue their case. There are some Scousers that would even probably argue Thiago's case, or Jordan Henderson. That one seems to pop up quite regularly from Scousers. I mean, they're obviously still pissed from celebrating the league. I probably would be too. Can't blame them. But Bruno has been on absolutely unbelievable form. It's 9 goals in all comps for him now after the brace against Başakşehir, and he's just unstoppable. He's brilliant to watch. I mean, no, crack on, Jamie, mate.
I can't see him playing that midfield, Keane. I don't think he's going to play that against Southampton, mate. I just can't see it. I think it was fantastic while it was working against Başakşehir, but I'll be amazed if we don't get a McTominay and a Fred tomorrow. I really will. I can't see any other midfield apart from a Fred and McTominay, or Matic and McTominay tomorrow on Sunday. Sorry. I like wishful thinking from you, and I hope to God you're right, mate, because I love that forward thinking midfield with Van de Beek, Bruno, and Fred in midweek. But I don't see that happening, unfortunately. I'll be amazed if he doesn't play the more defensive too. Sorry for cutting you off there, mate. I didn't mean it.
No worries. I see what you mean. I can't. Like, you don't. I think it suited the Başakşehir game, and it doesn't necessarily suit us to play that sort of a midfield three against a side like Southampton. I feel like where it suited us to play a midfield three was like that against West Brom, where they're going to play a 4-5-1, and they're easy. It's a lot. We have a lot more fluidity than in the middle of the park. But I don't know, against Southampton, I feel like a defensive two defensive midfielders are not maybe a necessity, but it will help our defence because it has looked weak. And I didn't see the report from Ollie today. Is Wan-Bissaka, is he fully fit?
He trained. Yeah. I think he trained, but they said like it's touch and go with him and Marcus Rashford as well. They said it's touch and go between them if they play on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if you Wan-Bissaka has probably been, I would say, anyway, aside from Bruno, obviously, probably have been our most consistent performer over the last year. Yeah. And to take him out of the side, and then who do you bring in at right back? Then do you bring in Timi Fosu-Mensah? Do you bring in Brandon Williams?
I'd bring in Fosu-Mensah because he's probably better defensively than what Brandon Williams would be. But Brandon Williams would be better going forward. So there's the two. There's kind of the pros and cons of the two of them. But
then you have Alex Telles on the left, who is going to be that fullback going forward, making the crosses possibly into Cavani if Rashford isn't fit.
Is Pogba out?
Yeah,
Pogba's out. Yeah, Pogba's out. Pogba didn't train.
Actually, do you know what? Do you know what? Actually, Jamie, McTominay didn't train today. Ollie said he didn't even get onto the grass today with Pogba, so McTominay probably isn't playing. So you're probably going to get a Matic probably in Fred, and then probably Bruno.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've obviously been at work all day, so I haven't seen Ollie's press conference. So I wasn't too sure what the update was.
It only just hit me now because I know I'm after having a couple of drinks before this, but I watched Ollie's presser earlier on today, and he hit me. Pogba and McTominay actually both didn't train. They didn't even get onto the grass today with their injuries.
It's a bit worrying that we've not. I think that's a massive issue for United, the right-hand side as well. Like I'm not 100% convinced by Fosu-Mensah. Like I haven't really seen enough of him to warrant him being the backup. I don't understand why they got rid of Dalot. I actually really rated Dalot. I think he wasn't great. He wasn't great defensively, but he's an attacking fullback.
Nah, Dalot was so bad defensively. Honestly, even. I was at Tranmere away, and he was even getting done in by their left midfielder. So, defensively, he doesn't. He isn't. There are attacking fullbacks, and I understand that's the way the game has gone. But you do still have to cover your ground defensively in any position. So, especially as a fullback, and I just don't think he was able to do it. Maybe Italy with the slower pace of the game. Maybe he'll be able to adapt to that at Milan. Who knows? He could have a great year at Milan and come back to us. But I don't know. I just didn't see it with Dalot personally. And I honestly really rate Fosu-Mensah because I remember when he first came through, we had that game against Tottenham at White Hart Lane. He was phenomenal and came off, and then we ended up losing 3-0. That was horrendous. But
I hope he proves me wrong.
I think he's a good lad. I can if Wan-Bissaka isn't fit to play full 90, I can see I can see Fossey meant to being started because I think Ollie is a big fan of him. So we might as well just do a predictive 11 here as we're talking about the old team. Keane, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, David De Gea in goal anyway. Look, that's undisputed at the moment. He's back to good form. If Aaron Wan-Bissaka is anyway fit, he starts for me again. Like one of the best right backs in the league. Fantastic footballer. They're saying Victor Lindelof is touch and go. His back is at him, so there's a chance he might not play. So I'm gonna, because Axel Tuanzebe is actually suspended anyway to play against PSG, I would go Tuanzebe and Maguire at centre back. Alex Telles then at left back then as well for me. Then I'm gonna stick by my midfield three. Even though it probably won't happen, but I am gonna stick by it. I'm gonna go Fred, Van der Beek, and Bruno Fernandes. And then I'm going to go with the same front three as well. I'm going to go with Rashford on the right, Martial on the left, and Edison Cavani up top.
Ooh, that's a saucy one. A couple of injuries might change that, but that's the way of the world. Jamie, what are you predicting, mate?
I'd be the same as Keane, mate. Exactly the same. So I'll keep that short and sweet. That's the team I would go for. Like I said a few minutes ago, I don't think that's what's going to happen. But if it was up to me to pick the team, that would be the team. Obviously, I might start. I'm a big fan of Tuanzebe, so I do actually think there's a future there for him at centre back at Man U. Obviously, it's a position that's sort of a little bit touch and go at the moment. But I don't particularly think Maguire's going anywhere because what we paid for him, and obviously he's club captain now. So I do think there's an opportunity there for Tuanzebe. Whether we go out in the summer and go and get a Upamecano, someone like that, but we've sort of went into windows and we haven't filled them consistently. So who knows? But I definitely think there's a player there in Tuanzebe. But if Lindelof was fit tomorrow, I would probably go with Lindelof because I actually think he's been quite good over the past month or so. I think he's started playing some decent football at the back, and him and Maguire are sort of improving a little bit. I know there's still frailties there with the lack of pace, but the same team. I did want to see Rashford on the right, and I think he proved to a lot of fans that didn't think he could play on the right in midweek. I know it was against a Turkish team. You're going to get a lot more sort of in-your-face sort of pressing tactics against the Southampton in the Premier League. But I definitely think there's an opportunity there to give him a go. But I think Ollie will play on the counter-attack tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if Dan James plays. I honestly think he might go for something like that. And I don't want to put a negative spin on it because your team that you've just said there, Keane's absolutely spot on, mate. I hope that is the team. But
Dan James, he's a Tipperary corner forward, isn't he? Like.
Yeah,
he's a Tipperary football corner forward. Like he's.
You lot doing all right. You won Munster. I mean, like, look, if he could get into the Tipperary team right now, he ain't getting near any Man United team in my world. Anyway, I would not have Dan James. Look, he scored against Başakşehir during the week. Fair enough. He's played well for Wales, but he's not. I've said it for a long time now. I don't think he is a. I don't think there will ever be a time when I go to a game expecting Dan James's name to be on the team sheet for a starting 11 for Man United. And I don't
against Crawley Town away or something like that. You know?
No, but it's not to be disrespectful to the lad. He's a good footballer, but he's just not. Maybe in 3 or 4 years he might prove me completely wrong, but I just do not see him as an elite level footballer that should be playing for Manchester United. I feel like if he went to Leeds, there would be a lot of talk about him, and I think he'd be playing quite well. I think he would suit Bielsa's style of play because he runs like a Jack Russell. He's fast as fuck, but he's just, I just don't see it in him, to be honest. I mean, Ricky on the United stand absolutely loves him, but I don't see it myself. I don't see it.
He loves Matter as well.
I love Matter. To be fair,
I think he'll play tomorrow. I think he'll be on the right and Dan James will be on the left.
If Matter's on the right and Dan James is on the left, I'm done. I'm just going to turn the telly off and.
That's honestly what I think. I obviously don't. That's what I think the team's going to be tomorrow. I think he'll play. I did think he would start Scott, but if what you're saying, Keane's right, I think he'll play Fred and Matic. He'll play Bruno in front of them, just behind a Cavani. To be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if he brings Martial back in tomorrow, which I think Cavani was fantastic midweek. And I think long term, we need to go with Cavani going forward. Martial, for me, and this might upset a couple of people in the comments, I don't think Martial's a striker.
It's all right, mate. Not that many fucking people watch this.
But I don't think Martial's a striker. Like, I think he's better on the left. I don't think he's got that ice cold finisher that we need at United. And I said on Keane's show the other day when we were having a bit of a chat on a different channel, I said I don't see him as the long-term successor at Man United going forward in that central role. We were like, it's all well and good creating 4 or 5 chances against a West Brom at home and in missing 2 or 3 of them. I know him and Rashford missed good chances against West Brom to finish the game off, but against the Cities, the Liverpools, we might only get 2 chances a game and we need to finish them. And I feel like with Cavani in the team, we've always got a chance that if we get that half chance, he'll finish it. Just like when we had Ibrahimovic, if you can just get a chance, there's a good chance he's going to take it. And I feel like going forward, Solskjaer really needs to have a look at that situation. And I always say put him first. And I feel like the better decision going forward in the longer term for United is particularly having Telles at left back, because I think he's got more quality than Luke Shaw, and Cavani up front. They're the two positions that I think they need to be changed. But I wouldn't be surprised if he plays Luke Shaw when he comes back. But it's a case of I would go with Telles going forward, just for the pure quality in the wide positions. What we were saying about Dalot is Telles a better defender than Luke Shaw? I don't personally think he is, but he's definitely better going forward. So we need to start creating chances and we need to start finishing them, because like I say, when we're going to the Etihad and we're going to Anfield, we're going to Stamford Bridge, we might not get them 4 chances to score the goal. We only might get 1, and I'd prefer to see a ball fall to Cavani in the box than I would to Tony.
Yeah, fair enough. I do see that, and I would like to see him get a few more games, Cavani, and he did get that goal against Everton. Let's do the predictions for it. Keane, what are you thinking? Are we going to do these the Saints in at St Mary's, or are we going to get turned over by whatever we want to call him, Hassan Hootel, Hassan Hutter, Hassel Hooker, whatever comes to mind, mate. Whatever comes to your head.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 Manchester United win. I think, again, the form continues. I think we have a big game against PSG in the Champions League this week, so I think a bit of momentum is needed going into that game. So I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go with Edison Cavani getting on the score sheet, and then my man, the main man of Manchester United at the moment, the best midfielder in the world, Bruno Fernandes, gets on the score sheet. And it's not a penalty. And it's not a penalty.
It's not a penalty. It's from open play. It's
not a penalty. Open play, absolute screamer. It's coming again.
I mean, mate, that shot against Başakşehir.
Scholes-esque.
It was just fucking. It was just beautiful.
Like I've got a question for the both of you. I've got a question for the both of you, and I know it doesn't usually work like this, but do you actually, like, generally, because I've said my piece on what I think the lineup will be, do you think we'll actually see Donny tomorrow in the starting lineup?
Nah.
No.
I'd love to see it, but I don't think it will.
Do you know what, though? Like, with
hashtag
PSG,
free Donny will still be trending Sunday.
Hashtag free Donny.
With the that's why I think the lineup's going to be a little bit sort of bit part because of the PSG game. I think it's a game we need to win, but obviously we only need a draw. But I think that's why the team tomorrow is going to be a little bit sort of maybe a Dan James, maybe a Mata, because I think he will have that game in mind. And I think, thinking about it now, I know I didn't mention it a minute ago, I think Donny might play tomorrow purely for the fact of...
Oh, stop.
No, I'm serious.
You won't.
Yeah, no, I know that, but when you're just sitting here thinking, do you know what? I don't know if he's going to play against me.
You Charlie Nicholas, mate, I'm just sitting there thinking, what? Come on, mate.
Yeah,
it's not happening. It's not happening, mate.
Dream big.
Charlie, I'm sitting there thinking, no, it's not happening, guys. I can't see it. What are you thinking for score?
I'm expecting a tough game, but I reckon a 2-0 or a 2-1. I do think we'll get the win, though, but it ain't going to be an easy game, that's for sure.
2-0, 2-1. I don't know. I'm not confident in us to get the win here at all. I think it may end in a draw, but I'm never going to say a draw for United. I'm going to say a 2-1. I'm going to say a Bruno brace again, because he just can't stop scoring braces. He loves it. He can't stop scoring, the man. Bruno brace, both from open play. It's going to be beautiful. and we're going to win 2-1. And Hassel Hooker, or whatever the hell he's called these days, is going to be crying into his glass of red wine, as we said last week.
And now, the Bruno FC continues.
Bruno FC will continue in
Propaganda
my Larry zebra kit. That thanks to Zeki, the retro locker, for that as well. But yeah, this is double Larry. I'm not going to lie. Enough about United now, lads, because we talked about them for about 15 minutes. Let's move on to the next game on Sunday, the 4:30, Chelsea versus Spurs. Jose returning back to the bridge yet again. It's not really a reunion anymore. He's been at us. He's been at us for a couple of years. He's been at Spurs for over a year now. Is it really going? It's back to where he, came shot to prominence really in the British public eye. Spurs looking like genuine title contenders for the first time in 2 or 3 seasons. Jose's got him ticking, really, hasn't he? And I mean, it's that all or nothing documentary. It's just giving him that sort of propaganda that he needed to give himself his character back. Keane, what do you think here? Are Chelsea going to pull something off against Spurs, or is Jose going to be laughing out the bridge?
I bloody well hope so. I don't want Tottenham to win the league this year. They're the last, apart from Liverpool, they're the only other fuckers I don't want to see win this league this year. Because imagine us getting rid of Jose Mourinho, right? And then imagine that dickhead going on and winning the league after us getting rid of him, saying, like, I've said live on air on many different channels that Jose Mourinho is finished, and which I still think he is finished. So I have to stick by that. So I see Frank Lampard, the student beats the teacher on Sunday. And Timo Werner though goes in and he scores an absolute beauty of a goal, and Hakim Ziyech just tears that defence apart.
Yeah, fair play, mate. I don't know about that myself. I can't see. I just can't see Chelsea doing them that badly. Jamie, what are you thinking?
I'm the complete opposite to Keane. I think Tottenham will beat them. I think they're playing well at the moment. They're scoring goals. They're well organised. They're just a typical Jose team. Really well organised, hard to break down. I think Chelsea have got obviously embarrassing riches for players, the Ziyechs, the Werners, the Havertz if he's available. But I can just see an old school Jose stinking Stamford Bridge out and getting a 1-0 draw on the counter, a 1-0 win on the counter attack in the last 10 minutes. But
he's often stunk out Stamford Bridge anyway, even when he was manager there. So that
when he was manager. I just think they've got a bit of momentum, Tottenham. I'm like you though, Keane. I don't want to see them win the league, particularly if he's in charge. But I fancy them tomorrow. Actually, I think they'll get the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, the holding back defensively and getting one on the counter. I mean, it was it was like the goal early with that ball in from Ndombele into Son, like just cutting open the defence. And Spurs are more than capable of doing that. And Kane looks unbelievable this season. Son, unbelievable. And Ndombele, who Mourinho was publicly, hanging out to dry. It seemed like another one of his victims, like Paul Pogba. But he's got him playing a fine tune again. And Spurs do look like they do look dangerous. And I know what you guys are saying, but for me, obviously there's the Mourinho thing, but I don't really resent Mourinho too much. Like, it was poisonous towards the end of United, but I'd rather see Spurs with it than any of the other top 6. Personally, for me, I fucking despise City, Liverpool, and Chelsea.
I have a lot of Spurs.
I hate Arsenal.
I have a lot of friends who are Spurs fans. Both of you are in the same group chat as them Spurs fans. I'm telling you one thing: if they win that league, we're all leaving that group chat now. I'm cancelling my channel if they win the league.
One of my best mates is a Spurs fan. I'm really. It doesn't. I'd be happy for him, the poor fucker. He's been through misery for years and years. Look,
I'm not a Jose hater.
I mean? It swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Everyone has their time, and I don't think Spurs are going to win it. But personally, out of the rest of our top 6 rivals, or the traditional top 6 as it may be called, I would rather see Spurs win it than any of the other ones, because I absolutely despise Chelsea, City, Liverpool. Really don't like Arsenal, and don't really have anything against Spurs. That's the way I see it, and I can see Jose going to Stamford Bridge, and I can see him doing them. and I'm going to say 2-1 Tottenham. What are you boys? What are you boys saying? Final scores?
I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. Jamie?
I think it'll be. Do you know what? I'm going to be brave here. I said it on the counter attack. I think Tottenham will win 2-0. I think it'll be a Jose defensive masterclass and a counter attack. When you've got players like Son in the team, you've always got a chance of getting in behind. And Kane's obviously playing out of his skin at the moment. So I don't know why. Like, Stamford Bridge is a tough game for anybody to go, but I quite fancy Tottenham tomorrow.
Chelsea are unbeaten in 10 as well. Just to say, like, they haven't lost in 10 games, and their last loss actually was against Tottenham in the League Cup, and that was on penalties. But a loss is a loss. You know what I mean?
Some big games Sunday, isn't there?
It's a massive fixture for both sides, and really and truly, it's a big one for the title race because both teams are gunning for that position. So most of us are predicting for Jose to have a successful return to the ground that made him. Moving on to the late game on Sunday, 7:15, Arsenal versus Wolves at the Emirates. Arsenal are looking pretty dreadful at the moment. For the entirety of the British media to hype up Mikel Arteta the way they did when he won at Old Trafford, playing shit defensive football with a penalty that was slightly contentious, as I will say. Most people won't say that. I think I've got it written down here, no goal from open play in their last 5 league games. They currently sit 12th. Thomas Partey is back, which is a big boost for them. But I don't know, they're facing a Wolves side that are just, they're a great team. The likes of Daniel, Pedence, Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore, to name a few. Connor Cody coming back into the side. They've looked shaky because they haven't been able to play that free at the back because Nuno hasn't trusted anyone else to play that sweeper role. And I think if they go back into their free at the back, I think they could do Arsenal here at the Emirates. Jamie, what are you thinking, mate?
Obviously, having Connor Cody back's a massive plus for Wolves. He makes the whole engine tick, doesn't he? I really, really like Connor Cody actually as a footballer. I really rate him. But you never get an easy game against Wolves. They're in your face. They're high press. They're very well organised when out of possession. So they've obviously got a lot of quality with Pedence and Traore, who sort of seems to bully every defence in the Premier League. Obviously, Raul Jimenez up front can grab a goal from open play, headers. They create quite a lot of chances. And sort of going off what you were saying about Arteta as well, I think he's sort of having a nice, easy little run with zero criticism when you've got Lampard and Ollie that take stick every time they drop points.
It's the Pep effect, man, because Pep doesn't get the criticism he deserves either. Pep's below Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's the one that's been ousted. Look, obviously Pep has achieved a lot more with City. That's fair enough, but they do not get the criticism level that other managers do. Sorry for jumping in there.
Nah, that's all right, mate. Nah, I think you're spot on what you're saying as well. He's just seen as the nice guy, ain't he? And it's I was speaking to Keane about this the other day when it's like if we drop points away at Turf Moor, it's all Solskjaer, is he the right man for the job? Oh, wait a minute, is Lampard the right man for the job? He's Drew at Turf Moor. Whereas if it's Arteta, it's no, it's okay. Arsenal are in a process. I'm like, it doesn't really work like that. Like we're rebuilding as well.
He's in the job 12 months. He's next month. He's in the job 12 months. So I'd like to say this straight out. He's only in the job 3 months less than Frank Lampard is. So let's get this straight. If there's a so-called process, what is that process? Because at the end of the day, they don't have a progressive style of play. They've a
process is win an FA Cup and hope for a decent result. That Man United result blew so much smoke up Arsenal fans' arses. You've seen them. I've watched a couple of them on AFTV. He has a process. Oh, he's got a style of play. Ollie's got no style of play.
He's a Spanish Tony Pulis. He's Tony Pulis with hair. That's literally what he is. That's what he is, though. He's a Spanish Tony Pulis. That's what he is.
Keane, son.
He's Tony Paella. That's what we're going to call Arteta from now. We're calling Arteta Tony Paella.
Tony Paella.
Tony Paella is his new nickname.
I think obviously I know it's a little bit going back onto United, but we get so much criticism about Maguire. Like, what about Pepe? Like, it's not like he cost £10 million and he's not doing that well.
75 mil.
Exactly, that's what I mean. But you never hear about these sort of things. But
it's because they control Twitter. It's because they control Twitter. There's too many of them. There's too many.
Not even that. It's not even that. It's because we're a big club. Arsenal are an okay club, but we're the biggest club in the world. So obviously, there's more scrutiny going to come at Man United than anybody else. Everyone else, in terms of the media, is irrelevant. Everyone else don't get clicks. United are the only team that get clicks and a reasonable amount of clicks. So we're clickbait central. Like, that's what we are. Like, that's why none of the rest of these teams get the criticism that we do. It's simple as that.
We're clickbait central, and we're getting cyber attacked at the same time as well, and held to ransom by cyber people who are apparently trying to rinse the club for millions. But
I think if Wolves can keep Aubameyang quiet, they'll probably get a result against Arsenal. It seems to be the only shining light in that team at the moment, and he's obviously
gone downhill. But he's gone downhill since he got no contact. Since he got,
he's only got 2 this season, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of them was a penalty.
So
he's a penalty merchant.
One was a penalty and one was against Fulham. So like he's actually, in all fairness, if we, the way they're going about Bruno Fernandes's penalties and Fulham, do we really count them as a team? Like, has he scored really? Like, he's not had an impact on the league. Merchant. I don't think we could call him a penalty merchant with one to his name, but. What are we going for in the game then? Look, we keep divulging and ripping into people. I love it, but we've all got drinks down.
You love to hear it when Keane's on one.
I love it. He's on one. He's had his graduation. He's had a few Clonmel champagnes, and he's fucking loving life.
Is that at the Emirates?
It is at the library. Yes, it is.
Yeah, the library. I think Paella might nick a draw then.
Tony Paella for the draw. Keane, what are you saying? Do you think Tony Paella has the wits to outdo Nuno Espirito Santo, or is Adama Traore going to make Kieran Tierney his bitch?
Oh, Kieran Tierney, he's going to make Kieran Tierney his bitch. Jimenez is going to make him his bitch.
I do really like Kieran Tierney as well.
Just put that
out there. He's just
but I don't like Arsenal. Like, think about this, lads. It's a 7:15 kickoff on a Sunday, so it's gonna be a nice late game. Wolves are going to win 3-1. Wolves are going to win. They're going to win 3-1. And then it's going to be AFTV and chill on Sunday night. Nothing beats it.
AFTV and chill. Nice cup of coffee, slice of cake. Watch DT have a meltdown. Jamie, what are you thinking, mate? Is Paella getting it?
I think they'll struggle. They're at home, so you never know. But I do rate Wolves. I think he's got them really well organised. He's been there for a few years now. And Arsenal always struggle against Wolves. So I don't think Arsenal will win the game. But when I say that, they seem to win. So maybe they will win. I fancy a draw. I think Wolves will come away with a point.
Yeah, I actually think Wolves are going to win here. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a 1-0 Wolves. Like, I think it's just. I think, sort of similar to the way Leicester won, sort of late on in the game. Raul Jimenez going to get a goal for Wolverhampton, and they're going to march back on up the M6 with all 3 points. Moving on to Monday night then, and it's Leicester versus Fulham. Fulham were predicted to be the whipping boys this season, and kind of have been. They did get a win. They did actually play quite promising in the second half against Everton, as I mentioned earlier on. Loftus-Cheek came on and he just looked very good. He looked, like his old self when he does hit form, and sadly isn't struck by injury, the poor fella. He's just been injured so much. But Leicester obviously are going to look to bounce back from that terrible defeat from Liverpool, and I can't see anything other than a Leicester win here myself. It's at the King Power as well. Jamie, what are you thinking, mate? Is Leicester going to just absolutely tear Fulham apart here?
Yeah, I can't see Scott Parker keeping Fulham up. I just don't think they have the quality. They lack goals. They're defensively a little bit all over the place at times. I just don't think they have the quality to stay in the league. So I'd pretty much say I fancy a lot of teams in the league to beat Wolves, and Leicester can really turn it on when they want to. Rodgers is struggling a little bit with a little bit of inconsistency at the moment, but they've got the players to hurt any team when they turn up, and especially at the King Power, they seem to really put the pressure on teams, play a good expansive style of football at home, and they're always it's always a tough place like Southampton we were speaking about earlier. To go and get a result at Leicester, you've played well. It's a tough ground to go to, and keep us right here because I didn't see the Europa League. They drew with Braga, did they?
Yeah, Jamie Vardy. They went up. They equalised to 2-2, and then they went down 3-2 in the 90th minute.
Yeah. And
then 96th minute, Vardy equaliser scenes, pretty much.
Yeah. So obviously coming off the Liverpool and a disappointing result against the team, Braga are a good team, but obviously Leicester expected to beat teams like that.
It was a last-minute winner, so I think and they got through in the group.
Well, there you go then. So
there'll be a bit of a boost to the camp, to be honest, more than anything.
Premier League-wise, they didn't really turn up against Liverpool, but I think they'll have more than enough quality to see off Fulham tomorrow. I think it'll be a comfortable 2-3-0 win for Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see anything other than that myself. Keane, do you think Loftus-Cheek can pull off a masterclass here and be hyped up like he does on the British media train quite regularly? Or is Jamie Vardy going to be having a party with some vodka?
Yeah, some vodka, some blue wickets. He might make a few green diesels as well. He might even sit down and have a chat with the boys and still get up and score a goal. Fulham are that bad, you know. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Fulham are fucked. 4-0 Leicester.
Fulham. Now, great use of alliteration there, Keane. You can tell you're definitely a graduate. I'm gonna say 3-1 Leicester. I think Fulham will get a goal, but it would just be a mere consolation for the poor boys from West London. Now, moving on to the final game of the weekend, Monday, 8:00, Villa versus West Ham. It is at the London Stadium. And I sort of built this one myself as the battle of the surprise packages this season. Both of the teams sitting in 7th and 8th. You wouldn't have tipped either of these. If you're talking at the start of the season, you'd have tipped Villa for relegation and West Ham to be battling it. And I had
West Ham to get relegated this year.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have been on your own there, to be honest. You know, with Moyes at the helm, I think a lot of people had them tipped down there. And both of the sides have been sort of, pleasantly surprising and great to watch, really. Villa more great to watch than West Ham. But it's a good game, and Villa are missing Barkley, sadly, which is a big loss for them. He's been brilliant since coming in on loan from Chelsea. But I think it's going to be a tight one, this one. I can't really call it myself. Keane, what are you thinking?
It's a tough one to call. It really is, because both teams are on kind of similar veins of form at the moment. They're so close in the table, but I think Villa will just about nick it. I think Jack Grealish, as much as me and you don't like him on, I think he is quality
more. So I'd rather Villa win. It's all good.
Yeah. So it's a battle of the snakes this weekend. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so for me, I'm gonna go with Villa.
Battle and surprise packages, isn't it? Battle of the snakes. You've done me in, Ken, mate. You've done me in.
It's on fire tonight.
He's on fire. He's just that Clonmel champagne. It's his energy juice. That's his. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the energy juice. Do you know what I mean? Oh, when we're only chatting about this today. When you fly over, I'll have a bottle of this waiting in the car for you. Now, I won't be driving. Just to let everyone know now, just live on the stream. I won't be driving, obviously, but when Owen flies over, the first thing he's going to have ready in the car is a nice tasty bottle of Clonmel champagne.
Oh, don't worry, I'll have a few on the plane over. Don't worry about that.
But anyway, back to the battle of the snakes. Jack Grealish, I think, will be the standout player again. I think Villa with their midfield, like Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, Ross Barkley, Jack Grealish, fantastic footballers. And Ollie Watkins has been one of the surprise packages this season as well. He's a very good striker as well. And I think Villa edge it, and I think Villa win 2-1. And Jack Grealish scores a goal, but then gives Declan Rice a drop kick like Rob Van Dam.
I mean, we don't wish harm on any player, but if there was one player which I went to and I wouldn't mind, he would be that one. Jamie, if we move on, Jamie, what are you thinking yourself, my
man? I think it'll be quite a tight game. I think they'll sort of try and shut each other off, and it might be a bit of a boring watch. But like you say, battle of the surprise packages or battle of the snakes, whatever one we're going with.
If you're Irish, it's the snakes. If you're not, it's just the battle of the surprise packages.
These motherfucking snakes is motherfucking plain.
I know what you're on about. But I think it would be a quite tight game at the London Stadium. Wouldn't surprise me if West Ham nicked it. But I think if Barkley was in the team, Barkley and Grealish are quality footballers. I think they've got the quality to hurt any team in the Premier League when they're on the day. But Moyes has a good record of getting results, don't he? When no one seems to think when a team in form are coming. But I'll go for a draw. I wouldn't be surprised at 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 myself. West Ham have got some quality players as well. Yeah. Pablo Fornals has been playing really well this season. He didn't really come into it he didn't sort of hit the form everyone expected last season, but he's sort of coming into his own in recent times. And Jarrod Bowen, I think he's a top player, and I don't see him being at West Ham for much longer because I think he's a step above, to be honest. I think he's a top player. And Mikel Antonio as well. Souček. Yeah, he's got the capability to knock in a header as well. And Antonio as well has continued his form from the post-lockdown league, where he was scoring for fun. And so I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to go a bit more exciting. I'm going to go for a 2-2 myself. That rounds up all of the fixtures for the weekend. I normally finish it with a bit of an interesting question. I don't know about yourself, Jamie, but I'm quite a regular match goer when we were able to go, sadly. And if the game is a bit pony, as I say, a bit shy, one of the main exciting things about it is your pie and your pint at half time. So my question to the two of you boys. What is your tipple from the concession stand? Is it a pie? Is it a hot dog? If so, what type of pie? And what drink do you go for? Hot drink, cold drink, beer? What are we going for? Keane, I'll go to you first, mate.
So I get the English version of Bulmers when I'm there. At Old Trafford or whatever other stadium I am in England. I have to keep the Bulmers tradition going. I'd probably get a hot dog and probably a packet of Walker's prawn cocktail if they have the prawn cocktail there. But to be fair, usually it's just really the bottle, and I always try to find fans to sing songs with because I'm always half cut when I'm at the games anyway.
I mean, that's the true joys of football there, and I love that response. Jamie, mate, what's your tipple from the concessions?
If we're talking pies, it's got to be a steak and kidney pie, isn't it? But I'm prone to a chicken pie, mine. So I'm sitting on the fence a little bit there. But I'm
a chicken balti man. Like that's what are you thinking about that?
There you go. Yeah. Rate chicken baltis. But I am prone to a hot dog at the old football. I do like a bit of red sauce, a bit of tomato sauce, bit of mayonnaise, good hot dog, maybe a pack of salt and vinegar crisps. I'm prone to a good coffee as well, which don't judge me because I know you two have said you like your beer and that, but do like a good coffee from time to time if I'm not on the drink anyway at the games. I'm usually on the pop when I'm at the football, but I'd probably sneak a little Mars bar in there as well. Why not?
Fucking hell, lads! We're eating 3-course meals at the Grub. For me, I'll normally have a beer. United, most grounds you go to, they'll have a sponsor, so it's just that one beer. United's is Heineken. It's not great. It's in a plastic bottle, but what can you do? You're normally on about 4 or 5 by the time you're drinking them anyway. Chicken balti pie, and if I'm having a hot drink on a cold away day, it's got to be a Bovril. It's got to be a Bovril. It's political. It's contentious. Not a lot of people are a fan of a Bovril. I do honestly. cold away day at Stoke, a Bovril. It's about the only good thing in Stoke, to be honest, mate.
Not be going to Stoke for a few years.
Thankfully, I won't, mate, because there's 2 empty quadrants and the wind blows in and you're freezing your bollocks off. It's not a great away day. But yeah, look. I just miss going into the ground, and I just thought about, with the introduction of fans coming back in, and just thinking about having the possibility of having a beer on the concourse again and having a chat and having a sing song. I know that won't be
You're not allowed to sing. Did you see that?
Keane, I know, mate. Don't make me upset more than
but even that's take United out of consideration. Imagine going to a fucking Ireland game and not being able to sing songs. That's criminal.
Imagine going.
Yeah, I just wouldn't go, man. I definitely wouldn't go to an Ireland game if I couldn't sing. Jesus Christ, imagine how brutal that'd be. No goals and no chance. No ole, ole, ole. No fields of Athen right. Jesus, and no
imagine
points.
them trying to tell some people in the Stretford End that they're not allowed to sing. Give it a rest, man. Come on.
It's going to be 2,000 fans. Well, look, it's not in Manchester anyway, so that's not anything to worry about. It's only in Mickey Mouse Land in London, and Brighton and Southampton as well.
The North got shafted, didn't they?
The North got shafted, apart from the Scousers, because they've been doing a lot of trace and testing themselves, and credit to them. They've managed to get their city safe, and
but look what they've done at the height of Corona. But look what they've done in Liverpool at the height of Corona, like with the Atletico Madrid game, like that.
The Atletico Madrid game, people criticise them for the title celebrations, and yes, they were out of hand. But I can't lie, I know I probably would have done something similar if United won the league.
Makes you a bit jealous.
If I was in Manchester and United won the league, I probably would have done something similar. And I know plenty of people that would have. And a lot of people are hypocrites in that sense. I don't like the Scousers, and it's nice to have a dig at them. But
can't wait for that bloody day, mate. I tell you where we can all go to Manchester again and have a party.
Yeah.
I lived in Manchester for the last 3 years, and it's just been quite miserable football, to be honest. And I'm back in London this year, but I'll be back in Manchester again next year, and hopefully I'll be enjoying the chicken balti pie with a pint of Heineken and watching United absolutely tear up the Premier League.
Hopefully we'll all be able to have a beer together one day when we're all going to the game, maybe.
Mate, this podcast is planned to eventually be in a pub one day. It's called the Crafty Couple for a reason.
Yeah.
And so look, that's the end of it now. We talked shit for over an hour. So boys, just give a quick shout out to your socials. Jamie, mate, what can the good people catch you on?
Yeah, catch me on Twitter quite a lot, quite interactive with people. So obviously enjoy a bit of football chat, as you've noticed tonight. Get me at Jam Mackay 1989. Always up for talking a little bit of United and football in general. So yeah, that's where you'll catch me and get involved.
Yeah, do go check him out, guys. And the guy who should have his Twitter handle is the Clonmel Champagne Connoisseur. Keane, where can the good people catch you?
So you can catch me at Keane_Franey on Twitter for all of your Bruno Fernandes propaganda. You know, it's always there nearly every day of the week. And also you can catch me on YouTube at the Weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast, where Owen and Jamie do feature regularly as well.
Yeah, it is good crack. And we'll all be over in Ireland for a Christmas party. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I'm at 65. I'd like to get to 100 before Christmas. Unlikely, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be a nice little present for me. I'm wearing a Larry shirt